Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Lori from Craggy Brook Witchery, and this is a pretty exciting day for me because I'm going to be opening some rune cards from Artisan Tarot. And the advantage of cards is that you don't have the weight of carrying stones around if you want to do readings out in public. So I'm pretty excited about this. I did watch a video. If you go on to Artisan Tarot, there is about a 2-hour video, and it talks about how to use the cards, and it's presented with John St. Germain, and he is fabulous at explaining on how to use the runes. And he's got a few systems of using the cards, and I'm sure I can come up with a few of my own. But let's get in and see what these cards are about. So this deck has been sent for the purpose of review, and I have taken off some of the plastic around the edges so that I can get in. Now on the video, I think they said it was based on Patricia Crowther's runes, and I don't know too much about her. And I did hear deck design by Kay Condor, but it's come in some bubble wrap, and let's get that off. There we go, and I'm going to turn the camera down so that we can explore this box of goodies. So, right off the bat, this is kind of neat. There's a coin included, and if I hold this up, you can see artisantarot.com has sent this coin, and it's called the Seals of Solomon, 4th and 5th Pentacle of Mercury. And I believe you can use this to boost your energies when reading. But we'll look into this and learn everything we can about it. But that's pretty spectacular. Thank you so much. All right, we'll put that there. And this is the box. The Witch's Runes Divination Deck. Now there are 2 sets in here. And I came up with a few ideas in the night, but watching John certainly stimulated those ideas and seeing the different ways that you can use these cards. And the advantage, as I say, is that, you know, the stones can be heavy if you're carting them around, but these little babies will neatly fit into the witch's bag. And yeah, you can throw in whatever you want to highlight and make the event more spectacular for people. And you might even want to combine it with some of your witch runes. This is a very small set of mine, but I think I could lay the cards out and use those as well. So let's get into these babies. Find my little, there it is, and not damage them. So that it is nice and lightweight, which is super fabulous, but I can't get in. Hang on a sec. There we go. All right, the back is pretty. It's a tuck box, just a light little tuck box, but again, it's light. And if you want to take these on the road and do readings for people, you don't want to be bogged down with too much stuff. So there's the name, John St. Germain. And as I say, he is a delight to watch. And it's amazing how much you can learn by watching someone with that much skill. So that's the box. And it's nice that it comes with a little booklet. So let's take a peek here. It's a good size booklet. So you're getting 94 pages in there. And you know, the typeface is not so small that it's hard to read. Thank you for that. Because some of the little booklets that come, you know, they just make it so hard when they print it in such a way that it's too small. But you're getting some good color photographs here. For instance, there's the snake. And I'll try to bring that forward. A green slithering snake with red forked tongue represents a rival. the other woman or being jinxed. And it gives you all that information there. And let's just see if there are any layouts. Okay, yep. How to cast the cards, reading methods, casting with 4 cards, that might be the elementals. So you're getting quite a bit like that. Now let's look at the cards. Cardstock, pretty good. I like the back. You're definitely going to know if one is reversed or not if you read reversals. So, and they start, this is apparently one of the ones that symbolizes the person you're reading for. And then you can read the cards all around that. So the brown, I guess we'll go this way. Yep, the white and the black. Now I would be looking at the black as unknown. But this is going to be something each of us is going to have to figure out and put our own, a little bit of plastic there, our own meanings to. And I'm trying to remember and look at some of the notes here, but I'm not seeing, other than I remember that I think this would be female too. So this was kind of neat. And if you want to do some moon energy work, you could also use this card here. So you do have those 3 special cards. And then there's an invocation here. There we go. And that tells you a little bit about each of the stones. So you can do a photo shot of that if you wish. And there we have the first card, the Sun. And that is quite similar to one that I did in acrylic on my stone. So they would be looking quite nice together. That is a good thought. And John brought that up, that you could bring the stones in as well. And he did mention that. Now, we're going to skip over to this. This is a little pouch that I thought about in the night because it has 3 little pouches within it. So I thought in the back, he talks about using the witch's cord. Just something that you can put around the table. So if you're laying out the cards and you want to cast charms or more stones, this just keeps them from falling off the table. But his, when you look at the video, is fantastic because he's got all little charms and things on this witch's cord. So that was fabulous to see as well, because I got to do that. And then if I carry that, I want to do a bigger version here. This is just a card, but I wanted to put all the meanings in here, upright and reverse, that I could come up with. And that will tuck in my little bag for traveling. But because it's 2 pouches, I can separate the 2 decks. And that is going to be a benefit for me. So I've got my cord, my information, and the 2 cards, and I'm ready to roll. And when I take out my other witch's runes here, they're just in a little pouch, so that's not too much to carry either. So let's get on with the cards, and I'll try to read a little bit from the witch's invocation as well. So the sun is for he, and the moon is for she. And I guess if you could keep that in mind as you're reading through, that would be a benefit. Just a kickoff point, a starting point. Really nice. So there's our moon for the she. Now the stone marked with that crossing is for misery. And there are our spears. The spears that cross stand for strife. And I guess if it was upside down, you could bring in the reversal, being that the strife is soon to leave. You know, I'm already getting the intuition working on these cards. Rings of connection. That is nice. These interlocking rings are love for life, relationships, but also you could bring this into business connections, partnering, joining energies. This is quite nice. Okay, the birds. The birds bring news. Okay. Now, when you watch the video, John talks about directions. So maybe the energy is going out this way, and maybe the messages are coming in, or there's a little bit of silence because you're keeping some of those thoughts to yourself. And then you could go into the colors too. And I'd also be looking at what this is pointing to. Is it going out of the circle of cards that you've laid down, or is it pointing to an actual card? Okay, the waves. Now, let's get back to the card here. So we've got the bird one. He does say, the bird brings news and the waves will gather. So that's another one you're going to have to play with for a little bit. And you can bring in the numerology too. Okay, now this one here, the branch. The branch is for new starts that matter. So I guess if it was reversed, something may not be going well. Maybe you don't have the connections that you were hoping for. And this could be family too, I would think. The branches of the family, the tree. You could go a whole long way with that one. The snake will deceive. I know some people look at the snake too as transformation and shedding old ways. There's the wind. The wind will relieve. Relieve? Yeah, relieve. Okay. So there's the wind one. There's our scarab. Comforts. Okay. Now, he also said that the scarab could stand for ancestors and working with ancestors. There's our tadpole. And he talked a lot about the fertility of the tadpole. Conception. And that could be ideas, that could be pregnancy, that could be all kinds of things. It's almost like fire energy of the wand running through. And there's 13, the black one. The black and white tells you which direction. And the brown one is the most important of all. And the white tells you which direction. So you're going to have to play with these a little bit and get comfortable. But at least you've got that little witch's invocation to help you along. So this is now the second set. So let's get on to playing with a little bit of this here, because I do have some ideas. So let's put those to the side there. And I need the brown ones and the white ones for this one. So we're going to pick these ones back up. And I'm going to raise the camera and just play around with these with you visually for a little bit and see how the cards look in a spread. Okay, we're back. So this is going to be a reading that I found in this book, an old book, Divining the Future. And there's the author there. And if we skip through, she talks in here about doing a reading with 4 cards, earth, water, fire, air. And she gives some sample readings there. And I thought, well, let's try that. Plus, I wanted to try this one over here. And that one is the World Tree Spread. And I think it will fit on the cloth. Now, I'm not going to go into detailed reading, but we'll just have some fun and see how it goes. Now, I'm setting up this according to how my table, my altar sits. So earth is here, air is there, fire here, water here in my house. And so it's a little bit different than what's in the book. But for the earth one, she talked a little bit, and I made some cheat sheets, that physical lessons and the pull of the downwardness of the earth for grounding. So that's going to go there, and we're going to work into the rune cards with this. And with the air, that was drawing knowledge and seeking wisdom for the future on how to move forward. And then with the fire, that would be spiritual lessons and the unfolding destiny before you. And with the water, they talked about not like the earth one. The water one is that upward pull, that buoyancy, and the emotional work. So I gotta make room for the cards here. So I just gotta play around for a bit. But my idea was to use the 2 decks at once. And I would be shuffling these. It's a little bit more difficult because it's a smaller batch of cards, yes. Just shuffling away as if you were reading for someone else and you wanted to bring the 4 elements into the reading. And I would probably, well, you could pair it or you could do it singly. I think we'll do it singly first time out. So we'll lay one for the earth, the air, the fire, and the water. And you don't have to bring crystals to it. It was just something that I wanted to mark the corners with. So you can see the 4 cards there. And then you can start with the earth energy. And you could talk to people about what they need to do for grounding at this time. And if we use the little invocation card with meanings on it that came with the deck for the rings, that's going to be too hard for me to work through that. So I'm just going to go and wing it. So this is all about connections. So what's going to give the person grounding at this time is connections and relationships. And it could even be their relationship to the earth energy. And then if you went into the air, you might talk about the need for communication. I think of air as branching out, just like this stone. So it would, what's the word my father used to always use? Behoove. It would be great, it would behoove if you could branch out and you can communicate with other people. And that goes along nicely with the rings because you've got relationships you need to work on. And that is the physical sense. So these are people that you are in contact with that might be able to help you branch out. And when I think of that, I think of the tree. So that would be growth. And then over here in the fire and in the spiritual, that's maybe where you could bring in the ancestry. But this could be creative traits that people in your family history or those that you are in relationship with could help you spark and bring that creativity out. And then here in the water element being brown, well, that one throws me off a little bit, but I believe John said that represents the person you're reading for. So I'm reading today these cards in general, but it's saying right there, even for myself, build those relationships, branch out, be communicative, and look at your family history or even your own. What are your skills and what do you have to share? Where are your strengths as well as your passions? So that's kind of cool. I'm liking the deck already. But let's go on to the other one. We'll just take these ones away for a second. We'll put them back in the pack. And we'll remove these little cheat sheets. Now, she talks in here, Sally Morningstar, with the Tree of Life spread. And so at the bottom, And you can see the photograph there. We're going to be doing what you need to learn against what challenges you. What's your guiding rune? The power that will help you. What comes to warm you or warn you? That would be better, warn you. And what do you need to let go of, as well as what will you learn? So that's my cheat sheet for today. And let's just see how it looks. It's going to take up a little bit more space, definitely. So we'll toss these out of the way. This is a great little shawl that I found. It is just so beautiful. Okay, so you're going to have to put a little bit more space on your table for this one to do the tree. But so the first card going down is the base of the tree. We're going to have to scooch them here. So what you need to learn, a challenge, your guarding. What is your guiding rune? Guarding rune, guiding, okay. What power will help you? Again, we're running out of room. And what comes to warn you, as well as what you need to let go of. And let's see what we got. So at the bottom, if I twist this down a little bit, there we go. So what you need to learn at this time. Deal with some difficulties. Working through difficulties. And I guess where you're stalled. And what will challenge you? Thoughts, I think. When I think of the wind, I think of air, I think of thoughts. And how some of us are swayed by other people's ideas and thoughts. That can be a real challenge. What is your guiding rune at this time? Snake. According to the little witch's invocation here, this can be a not so nice person. So if somebody's standing in your way, try to create ideas on how to maneuver around the snake. Okay, and then if we go to what comes to warn you, let's just see. Waves, currents. That's interesting. And what do you need to let go of? Branch. Okay, that stalls me for a little bit. Maybe it's not all about growth, big time growth at this time. Maybe you've taken on too much, like the tree has so many limbs. Maybe you need to focus on something. Interesting. And what will you learn? Moon. Maybe to trust your intuition. Okay, I'm liking these cards a lot. So let's go on to the other one that I have where we're going to use 2 decks at once. Because we can. It's all for play. So this one, I think John did a similar layout, but I'm going to take it just a little bit different here. So I'm going to go, and I'm going to go this way, this way, this way, and this way. And again, getting it all in is tricky business. Now you could actually do a 9-card layout with this. You could do all kinds of things. It's endless. So we're going to scooch those up a little bit like that. All right, so I'm going to go to the heart of the matter after we get into the other deck. And this is where my mind was playing last night with all kinds of ways to use these cards. Just to challenge and be different. So now I'm going to lay one on top. So it makes for a much bigger reading, definitely. But the idea was for me was to read these as sets. And with more room on the table, they wouldn't be interlocking like this, but so be it. And so I would be looking at the heart of the matter here. And if I was reading for someone, I might go to this right off the bat. But I've been reading them together. Oh my, look at that. 2 spears. Ooh, there's big time conflict going on for that person. And 2 fours can represent being a little bit too secure, too safe. Very cool. So this is where it's going to get interesting. And I don't have certain positions for these laid out. It's just going to be what pops up. So there's waves connected here to something else that's a bit of a sticky situation. You see how fun it is? Now I don't have time to read through all of these, but you could combine these, the information that you can gather by working with the cards around the scarab and really studying what the wind, what the thoughts, the changes can happen. That is neat. Okay, let's try another one over here, the sun one. That's where our strength would be, I would think. And we're going to combine that with, oh, very nice, tadpole. Your strength is really about having a fertile mind, really taking concepts and making them happen, spending that time nurturing your ideas and your strengths. I can't help myself. I just have to keep playing, but I don't have a lot of memory in my phone, so a branch of birds. Well, birds land on trees. Isn't that kind of cool? There are so many things that this deck can offer. I'm thrilled. I have to say, Artisan Tarot, thank you so much for sending this to me. It's going to occupy a lot of my time in working through different scenarios and how to use it. It's very nice to bring this charm into it. Maybe that could play in somehow. I haven't figured that out. But then you also have these wonderful stones that you could play with. So it's endless. It's fantastic. I'm going to leave it there and say thanks to everyone for watching. This has been Craggy Brook Witchery, and I hope you enjoyed this.